This might sound technical, but it's huge. This is the moment our modern computer timekeeping is based on. Every time you see a timestamp on your computer or phone, it's counting seconds from that specific moment. This was, in a way, the dawn of the personal computing age, a powerful, massive, technical shift that began putting computing power, information processing into the hands of individuals in a new way. Eris disrupting information flow, challenging gatekeepers, stirring up discord around who controls knowledge and access. Chiron healing the wound of limited access to knowledge or tools, empowering individuals with information. And now, look where that cycle has brought us. AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, a whole new frontier, rising massive questions about value, about work, about what it even means to be human, but what it means to be conscious. More golden apples being thrown out into the digital realm, more discord about who controls the information, who benefits, what is real and what is not. The wound of not knowing. We're not being lied to. We're being controlled by information gatekeepers as being poked wide open. The pain of feeling left behind by technology or overwhelmed by it. So we have Mars missions pushing physical boundaries and our place in the cosmos. The end of the gold standard, shifting the foundations of global value and security, the birth of modern computing, changing how we process information and connect, all happening right as Chiron and Eris were conjunct in the early 70s. These weren't small shifts. These were foundational changes in how we explore, how we value things, and how we process information and connect with one another. They planted seeds for the world we live in today. They exposed deep wounds in our collective systems and stirred up massive discord around them. They showed us where our collective pride was invested in conquering space, in material wealth, in controlling information, and they showed us the wounds that came with that pursuit. And now we are back in that energy. We are seeing echoes. We are seeing massive shifts in technology. AI is everywhere, changing everything, raising questions about truth and reality, about what is real and what is fake, about the value of human work. We are seeing huge questions around the value of money, crypto, digital assets, the instability and questioning of traditional financial systems, the chase for new forms of wealth. What is real value? Who decides? We are seeing conflict and discord on a global scale, challenging old power structures and boundaries, exposing deep wounds in our collective humanity and how we treat each other. Wounds around belonging, around fairness, around basic human dignity. The golden apples are being thrown out again into the digital space, into the economic system, into the geopolitical landscape. Who is chasing them? What pride is being exposed in the chase? What discord is being stirred up around resources, power, control, and what we collectively value? What feels unfair? What feels like a betrayal? What feels like a raw, exposed nerve in the world? And through it all, Chiron is present, reminding us of the unhealable wound, the place where we are most vulnerable, most sensitive, perhaps most deeply hurt. This isn't just personal. There are collective wounds being exposed right now. Wounds in our systems, wounds in our societies, wounds in our relationship with the planet, wounds in our relationships with each other, wounds around fairness, around belonging, around safety, around truth, wounds around who is included, who is left out, wounds around history, the pain we've inflicted and received. Eris brings the strife, the challenge, the disruption that reveals the wound, pokes it, she makes it hurt, she shows us the discord that was always there. Just under the surface, she forces us to look at the pride, the greed, the ego-driven chase that creates the conflict. Chiron reminds us that some wounds aren't meant to be healed in the sense of being erased or fixed. They are meant to be integrated. They become part of our story. They become the source of our deepest empathy, our most profound wisdom, our unique power. It's the place we can help others because we know the pain so intimately. Even if we can't make it disappear for ourselves, it's the place where our vulnerability becomes our strength. It's the place where, having walked through that fire, we have something real and true to offer. This isn't about fixing everything overnight. This Chiron-Eris cycle, potent now, and building intensity into 2026 is about confronting what feels unfixable. It's about seeing the discord, the conflict, the discomfort, not as a failure, but as a revelation. Eris shows us where the pride is, where the conflict is simmering, where the unfairness is being exposed. Chiron asks us to be present with the pain that comes from that revelation, to not turn away from the raw spot, to not try to numb it or pretend it's not there, to acknowledge the wound, to feel it, and to find a way to carry it with grace and wisdom. Think about that date echo. May 30th, 1971 was one of the exact conjunctions of the three for each time the planets pass each other. May 26th, 2025 is the next exact one, the first in another cycle of three. 54 years later, nearly on the same day. That's striking. It feels like a cosmic bookmark, a deliberate signpost, pointing us back to that earlier era of massive systemic change and saying, pay attention. Look at what happened then. Look at the seeds that were planted. Look at the systems that were fundamentally altered. We're doing this again. This is the next turn of the wheel, the next deep dive into these energies. This is a time of recalibration. It is uncomfortable. It stirs things up from the bottom. It might feel like your own personal unhealed stuff is getting poked relentlessly. Old hurts, old betrayals, old feelings of not being enough or not belonging or being fundamentally flawed. It might feel like the world is just fighting with itself, like everyone is chasing their own golden apple, blind to the pain they're causing or the wounds they're stepping on. Because it is. And sometimes, if we're honest, so are we. We get caught up in that chase. We get triggered in our own wounded places. We react from the raw nerve. We project our own unhealed pain onto the world or onto others. We chase the golden apple, hoping it will finally make the wound stop, make it stop hurting, or prove that we are enough. But here's the invitation, the deep, powerful invitation of this time. You don't have to fight the tide. You don't have to pretend the wound isn't there. You don't have to chase every shiny golden apple thrown out into the chaos. This energy is asking you to look to see the discord within yourself and out in the world without immediate judgment or reaction, to acknowledge the places that feel unhealed, maybe even unhealable, and offer them compassion instead of trying to force them shut or trying to fix them into something they're not meant to be. It's asking you to see where pride, your own or others, is driving the conflict. Where's the ego demanding to be right, to win, to be seen as best? Where is it? Where in your life is pride causing strife? Where are you chasing something external, something shiny that's creating conflict or pulling you away from your truth, from your core? Where do you feel a deep, persistent wound, a raw spot that no amount of fixing or achieving or acquiring seems to touch? Where do you feel that fundamental vulnerability, the place where you feel most exposed, most sensitive? This Chiron-Eris energy is shining a relentless light on those places. It's not doing this to break you, it's doing this to make you aware, to show you the currents you're swimming in, to show you the places within you and around you that need your honest attention, your compassion, your presence. It's showing you the places where integration is needed, not just a quick fix. It's showing you that the discomfort is not a sign of failure, but a sign of deep, necessary work being done. The shifts happening now in our economy, our technology, our global landscape, they feel huge because they are huge. They feel like they are planting seeds for the next cycle, the next era, just like they did in the 70s. What is being planted now in this energy of revealed wounds and exposed discord? What shape comes next? And your role in it? It's not to conquer the unhealable or to stop the discord. You can't stop the tide. Your role is to become deeply present with it, to find your footing in the shifting currents, to learn the dance, rather than trying to fight the wave or build a dam against it, to observe the golden apples and the chase without necessarily joining in, to acknowledge the wound without letting it define or consume you, to find strength and wisdom that comes from carrying that wound, not despite it. It's a potent time, an uncomfortable time, yes, raw, Absolutely. Disruptive, no doubt, but also incredibly powerful for growth, for honesty, for shedding illusions, and for finding strength and unique wisdom in the very places you once thought were your greatest weaknesses or failures, in the very places that felt unfixable. This is your invitation to step into that awareness, to feel the energy moving through you and around you, to observe the golden apples being thrown and the exposed wounds that surface, to be present with the discomfort and to trust that even in the discord, even with the unhealed places, you are exactly where you need to be to navigate this powerful transformative tide. You are not broken. You are being called to move differently. You are being called to see differently. You are being called to be differently in the face of what is real, what is raw, what is being revealed. Pay attention. The currents are strong and they are carrying you somewhere important, somewhere real, somewhere that asks for your presence, your honesty, and your deep, deep, quiet strength.